Yeah, hello guys, welcome to 6-7, your daily political update. This is me, Sanjay Bhargav. Let's get started. Let's get into the first news of the day. The political corridors are buzzing as the long-standing rivalry between Pawan Khera and Himanta Biswa Sharma has moved from verbal spats to a serious legal shutdown in Gauhati High Court. The legal battle between Congress spokesperson Pawan Khera and Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sharma has recently entered a high-stakes new phase. As of April 22, 2026, the focus has shifted from Khera's past comments about the Prime Minister to explosive new allegations regarding the Chief Minister's family. Earlier this month, Pawan Khera held a press conference where he leveled serious allegations against the Assam Chief Minister's wife, Rinki Bhuyan Sharma. Khera claimed that she holds multiple passports. He alleged that she holds passports from the three different countries, including Egypt and Antigua Barbuda. Foreign assets. He claimed the family owns luxury properties in Dubai and has investments in shell companies in the US. And the reaction from CN Himanta Biswa Sharma is that he immediately rejected these claims as malicious and fabricated, owing to file both criminal and civil defamation cases. The situation is currently at a critical wait and watch point in the judiciary, FIR and arrest threat. An FIR was filed in Assam following these remarks. The Assam police even visited Khera's Delhi's residence recently for a search. The bail tussle is Khera initially got a transit bail from the Telangana High Court. However, the Supreme Court stayed the order on April 15, directing Khera to approach the courts in Assam instead. Latest update is on April 21, 2026, the Gauhati High Court reserved its order on Khera's anticipatory bail plea. This means the judge has heard both sides and will announce soon whether Khera gets protection from arrest or not. To understand the friction, you must remember the 2023 incident. Khera had referred to the Prime Minister as the Narendra Gautam Das Modi, a dig at the PM's alleged proximity to Gautam Adani. He was dramatically deboarded from a plane and arrested by Assam police in 2023. Status of that case. In January 2024, the Supreme Court refused to quash the criminal charges for that remark, meaning Khera still has to face trial in Uttar Pradesh court for these comments. With the Gauhati High Court decision hanging in the balance, the big question remains, is this a genuine expose by the Congress, or will Pawan Khera find himself in legal hot water once again? Stay tuned as we track this developing story. Let's get into the next news of the day. In a courtroom battle that has gripped the nation, Justice Swarana Kanta Sharma has sent a thunderous message to the political world. The law does not bend to pressure, and a judge cannot be chosen by the person being judged. Why she said like this? Let's understand. On April 20, 2026, Justice Swarana Kanta Sharma delivered a landmark 90-minute ruling that has significant implications for how politicians interact with the judiciary. Imagine there is a big school called India. In this school, there are two very important people. One is Mr. Kejriwal, who was like a class monitor, the chief minister. The other is Justice Sharma, who is like the vice principal, that is a judge. Some people said Mr. Kejriwal did not follow the school rules about a liquor shop project. The school police, that is CBI, wanted to check if he did something wrong. Mr. Kejriwal went to principal's office and said, I don't want Justice Sharma to listen to my case. I think she is not being fair to me because she was strict with my friends before. Justice Sharma looked at him and said, just because I was strict before doesn't mean I am being mean. I follow the rule book, that is the constitution. If I leave every time someone is unhappy with me, then nobody will follow the rules. I will stay and do my job honestly. Let's understand why she didn't recuse. Recusal means a judge stepping away from a case because they might be biased. Justice Sharma refused to step down for these four major reasons, such as no reasonable apprehension. She ruled that Kejriwal's fear was imaginary. She pointed out that in the past she had passed many orders in favor of his party, Aam Aadmi Party leaders, and they didn't complain then. You cannot call a judge fair only when you win and biased when you lose. Catch 22 trap. She said if she stepped down just because a politician asked, it would set a troubling precedent. It would mean any powerful person could pick and choose their favorite judge by attacking the ones they don't like. Participation in events. Kejriwal's team argued she attended events by a group ABAP linked to the RSS. She clarified these were educational events about new laws and Women's Day, attended by many judges and didn't make her political. Family profession. She addressed claims about her children being on government legal panels, stating that a relative's job doesn't automatically mean a judge is biased unless there is a direct link to the case. Let's understand the constitutional and legal framework governing this issue. Issue rests on two main pillars of Indian law, that is, Article 21, right to fair trial. While the accused has a right to fair trial, the court ruled that fair doesn't mean trial by a judge of your choice. The oath of office. Under the third schedule of the Constitution, a judge swears to perform duties without fear or favor, affection or ill will. Justice Sharma stated that her oath is to the Constitution, not to any political narrative. The court observed that the attempt to seek her recusal was a strategic character assassination of the institution itself. As this case heads back to the merits of the excise policy, one thing is clear. Justice Sharma has drawn a line in the sand, proving that in the eyes of the Constitution, the role of a judge is far heavier than the influence of any politician. We will see you in the next update. Today, we are going to talk about a very famous leader named Rahul Gandhi and a big puzzle about which country he belongs to. Imagine you have a school ID card that says you live in India, but then someone finds another paper that says you live in a faraway place called London. A man named Vignesh Shishir, a BJP member, says that a long time ago Rahul Gandhi started a company in the UK, that is Britain. He claims the papers for that company says Rahul Gandhi is a British citizen. In India, we have a very strict rule. You can only be a citizen of any one country. If you tell another country, I am your citizen, you are automatically stopped being an Indian citizen. Let's see who are the people involved in this story. Rahul Gandhi, the famous leader people are asking questions about. And the Vignesh Shishir, the man who went to the court saying Rahul Gandhi is British citizen. Justice Subhash Vidyarthi, the judge who said, I won't hear this case because the petitioner is being mean on the internet. Let's understand why did the judge leave the case. It means recusal. On April 20, 2026, something very unusual happened in court. The judge, Justice Subhash Vidyarthi, decided he would not hear the case anymore. This is called recusing himself. The man who brought the case, that is Vignesh Shishir, went on the internet and said mean things about the judge. He complained that the judge was taking too long to put the court's order on the website. The judge said that if the man doesn't trust the court and is making up stories on social media, the judge shouldn't be the one to decide the case. The judge felt that the man was trying to use the court just to get famous or play political games. Let's understand what does the Indian constitution and legal framework say about this issue. Article 9 of the constitution says you cannot have two home countries. If you choose new one, you lose India. The Citizenship Act 1955. This is the big book of rules that tells the government how to decide who is Indian and who is not. Section 12 of the Passport Act that says if you lie about which country you belong to on your papers, you can get into big trouble. So the puzzle is still not solved. We have to wait for a new judge to look at these papers and tell us the final answers. See you next time. Let's get into the next news of the day. We are traveling to a beautiful place of Kota in Rajasthan to hear a story about a big river, some very special animals, and the people who live nearby. Once upon a time, in a city called Kota, people and nature had to learn how to share their home fairly, and the highest judges in the land had to step in to help. Imagine a long, winding river called the Chambal. This river is like a giant nursery for a very special animal called the gharial. It looks like a crocodile but has a long, thin snout. Because these animals are very rare, the river was turned into a sanctuary, which is like a giant protected park where no one is allowed to hurt the animals or take their sand. Now, for a long time, many people in Kota built their houses near this river. They wanted to own their land officially, that is, this is called getting a land title or patta. The government of Rajasthan tried to help by saying, okay, we will change the rules and say this part of the land is no longer part of the protected park. This is called denotification. But wait, the Supreme Court, the wisest judges in India, saw this and said, hold on. They were worried because the judges found out that bad people called the sand mining mafia were using this as an excuse to steal sand from the river. This ruins the homes of gharials and the Ganges river dolphins. In India, we have a very important law called the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It says you cannot just change a park boundaries without asking special experts first, that is National Board for Wildlife. Our country's rule book, that is the Constitution of India, tells us two important things. Article 48A of the Constitution says that the government must try to protect and improve the environment and safeguard forest and wildlife. Article 51A Clause G says that it is the duty of every citizen, including you and me, to protect the natural environment like rivers and wildlife. Let's understand how we can make it fair for everyone. Coming from Kuno National Park, Madhya Pradesh, just like when they moved villages to make a safe home for lions in Kuno National Park, the government could give the people in Kota new, safe land away from the river where they can have their titles without hurting the gharials. Scientific boundaries. Experts can use maps and boundary correction to see exactly where the houses are. If a house is already in a busy city area and doesn't hurt the river, the judges might allow them to stay, but only if they promise to help protect the water. Strict protection. The police must stop the sand thieves so that the river stays clean for the animals and the people. Across India, from the mountains to the beaches, people are working hard to make sure both humans and animals have a safe place to sleep. By following the laws and listening to judges, we can keep our rivers beautiful and our homes safe. And so, by protecting the river and following the law, the people of Kota and the gharials of the Chambal can both hope for a happy and safe tomorrow. let's get into the next news of the day. That is, today we are talking about a very important game of fair play happening in India's biggest meeting room, that is the Parliament. Once upon a time, in a grand building called the Parliament, some leaders decided they needed to check if the person in charge of our elections was following the rules of the game. Imagine you are playing a big game of musical chairs at school. To make sure everyone follow the rules, you have a referee. In India, our biggest referee for election is the Chief Election Commissioner. And right now, that person is Ganesh Kumar. Recently, a group of leaders called the opposition said, "Wait, we don't think the referee is being fair." They tried to ask him to leave once before, but the head teachers of the parliament that they are, the speaker and the chairman, said there wasn't enough proof. Now the opposition is back with a new note called a fresh notice, saying they have new reasons why the referee should be changed. Let's understand how do we change a referee. In India, Chief Election Commissioner is very important job, so you cannot just fire them like a regular boss. The rules are written in our big rule book, the Constitution, which says Article 324 of the Constitution says this rule says that Chief Election Commissioner is like a Supreme Court judge. To remove them, you need a very special note, the signature rule. At least 100 leaders from the Lok Sabha or 50 from the Rajya Sabha must sign a paper saying that they want the Chief Election Commissioner to leave. The special majority. Even if they sign, nearly everyone in Parliament must agree, that is, two-thirds of the people there, that the Chief Election Commissioner did something wrong. To be fair to the referee, Ganesh Kumar, and the leaders that are the opposition leaders, we can look at how things were done before. That is a fair investigation, just like in the case of Justice V. Ramaswamy, a famous judge long ago. Before anyone is removed, a group of three very wise judges must investigate. They check if the misbehavior is real or just a misunderstanding. Scientific proof. Instead of just saying he is unfair, the leaders should show clear examples like a video or a document to prove it. This protects the referee from being teased or bullied if he is actually doing his job well. Turning to the judge, if the investigation says Chief Election Commissioner did nothing wrong, the leaders should accept it and keep playing the game fairly. Across India, people are watching to see if the rules are followed, and it's like making sure your school captain is chosen fairly so that everyone is happy and school runs smoothly. Whether the referee stays or goes, the most important thing is that the game of democracy remains fair and honest for every citizen of India. Let's come to the next news of the day, that is, today we are learning about how our country's big rule book makes sure everyone follows the law even if they are very powerful leaders. Once upon a time, in a place called Dharwad, a group of people forgot that everyone must be kind and the high judges had to step in to make things right. Imagine there was a man named Yogesh Gowda. He was a leader who liked to help people and also liked to stay healthy. So he went to a gym every day. But one day in 2016, some people who didn't like him did a very bad thing. They hurt him so much that he couldn't come home. For a long time, people were confused about who did it. Then, a very special group of detectives called the CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, the country's best truth finders, started looking into it. They found out that another leader named Vinay Kulkarni and 15 of his friends had made a secret plan to hurt Yogesh. Let's understand what judges decided in this issue. Our country has a very important rule book called the Constitution of India. It says that justice must be fair for everyone, whether you are a student or a famous leader. 302 and 120B of the IPC, these rules are the rules in our law book IPC that say if someone makes a plan to hurt others, they must be punished. Life imprisonment. The judge said Vinay Kulkarni and his friends have to stay in a special building called a jail for the rest of their lives. This is to show everyone that hurting people is never okay. Because he was an MLA, a person who helps makes laws, there is a rule that says if a leader is sent to jail for a long time, they cannot keep their job. That is called disqualification. The judges also knew that Yogesh had children who missed him very much. So they told the people who did the bad thing to give rupees 16 lakh to Yogesh's children. This is called compensation. It's a way to help the family buy books, food, and clothes since their father isn't there to help them anymore. Sometimes people think that if they are powerful or famous, they can break the rules. But the story shows us that in India, the law is the boss. It doesn't matter if you are a minister or an MLA. If you do something wrong, the rule book and the wise judges will always find the truth. Across our beautiful country, we want everyone to feel safe. By following the rules, we make sure that every neighborhood is a happy place to live, happy place to play and live. And so, by following the path of the law, the truth came out and it reminds us that being a good person is the most important job in the world. Today we will learn about the farmers in Punjab who face a very unusual problem. Their land is inside India but they cannot reach it freely because of a fence near the Pakistan border. Punjab farmers are struggling because their land lies between the barbed wire fence built inside India and the zero line, the actual border with Pakistan. The Supreme Court has recently stayed, that is, paused the government's plan to shift the fence closer to the zero line until proper surveys and constitutional rules are followed, meaning farmers must continue farming under the strict border security force rules for now. The situation is simple words fence versus zero line. India built a barbed wire fence inside its territory, not exactly on the border. The actual border is called the zero line. Farmers' land, that is, many farmers' fields lie between the fence and the zero line. This means that their land is technically in India, but they must cross the fence to reach it. Daily struggles are farmers must show identity cards to border security force soldiers. They are escorted by the border security force to their own fields. They can farm only during fixed hours. Crops often get damaged by stray cattle or lack of irrigation. Emotional impact is farmers say they feel like strangers on their own land. Let's understand the constitutional and legal basis governing this issue. To property, farmers have a constitutional right to use their land. Article 21, which protects the right to life and livelihood. Farming is their livelihood. Article 32 and Article 226 allows the citizens to approach the Supreme Court and High Courts to protect their rights. Supreme Court stay order says that the court has passed the government's plan to move the fence until surveys are done properly, ensuring farmers' rights are not violated. Let's understand why this matters to us. Farmers want the fence shifted to the zero line so they can farm freely without restrictions. And has started surveys, but until the Supreme Court gives final approval, farmers remain under border security force rules. The farmers of Punjab are waiting for justice. They hope the fence will be moved to the real border so they can farm their land freely and live with dignity.